AMG GT in all its iterations is a visceral, precise, loud and angry super sports car. Each version offering something different to the next, but each one a pure, aggressive AMG with no base model from Mercedes. Now for the first time, as teased last year at Geneva, AMG are making a car with more than 2 seats, and it is the AMG GT Four Door Coupe.
Hey guys, welcome back to Remove Before Race, and we've come full circle. If you remember, our first ever video was about the GT concept here at Geneva last year, and I predicted that this was going to be the birth of the Super Saloon. It is. You can see that the final product has basically not changed at all in its dimension and shape. We've got the front end, which is almost exactly like the concept. It's very GT, it looks almost as wide as the GTC. I'd say it probably sits in between the GTS and the GTC. This is the GT63S. Underneath this will fit the GT53. So this one features the same V8 that you get in the E63, the GTR, etc. But this is tuned slightly different, and we'll talk about the power in a minute. Like people used to compare the GT to the Porsche 911, there will inevitably be comparisons to the Panamera, but this looks to be more of a supercar experience in terms of ownership. But let's have a look at the rest of the car and see what else we can find, which is very GT. So immediately on the front bonnet we see the power domes, which are very, very AMG GT. Obviously you've got the Panamericana grille. At the bottom we've got the aerodynamic slats, which open and close. The lights are unmistakably AMG GT, straight out of the concept. Continuing around on the side, this particular line here, very AMG GT. The side sills at the bottom, very much like the GTC. Continuing on the rear then, the lights are of course very AMG GT, very AMG GTC. It's also a hatchback, just like the GTs. And this is a retractable spoiler. You'll also get a fixed spoiler, just like in the Edition 1s, and there is going to be an Edition 1, but we don't have any information on that as at this time of this filming. The diffuser, it is very large. In fact, these are the new pipes which you're going to see featured in the C63S facelift, or from what we've seen in spy shots. So that's something trickling down from GT.
So to sum up the exterior, the car looks wide and sits so well on its wheels. Those 21-inch wheels help with that, which is 1 inch bigger than you can get on any GT. The front of the car and the rear of the car are all GT, and the way the rear windows finish is the same shape as the two-door as well. The effect is, it just looks like they took a two-door GT and inserted a Mercedes coupe in the middle, which is exactly what you would want. Very wide, very intimidating. Just a real shame that the aerodynamic package version was not here at Geneva. As I said, that adds the fixed rear wing and flicks. And that spec was just generally way more in the spirit of the two-door GT than this blue car with S-Class style beige interior. A missed opportunity. But now let's go see if the interior lives up to the GT name.
So guys, here we are inside. This is the GT53, but I thought it'd be better to do this particular interior because it actually comes with one of the coolest options, which is unique to the GT Four Door, which is this awesome little dial here, which is in fact what you normally have on the GT down here in the V8 center console. You actually get it on the steering wheel, which is quite cool. And this harkens back to the AMG Project 1, where if you've seen some of the videos with Lewis in it, where they're showing the car going down the tunnel, he's actually changing the mode of the car through the steering wheel. And this is something now that links to the Project 1, which is awesome. You also get another dual screen here, where you can have any shortcut from the V8 center console over here. So for example, I would put the exhaust, because we love the exhaust, right? But it's not only that one specific exhaust. You can cycle through the different exhausts right here. And the good thing about this is A, it looks awesome, and secondly, it's more of a safety feature because you don't have to come looking back to the V8 center console in order to change any of the important modes that you do more regularly. The other thing on the V8 center console itself, we actually have little LED screens which change depending on
which mode you go into, so it displays the new mode on those buttons. How well these will age, I'm not sure. I really like the round analog ones in the GT, but these do look really cool.
So it's quite a special experience now. A lot of it also feels like E and CLS at the top part, but I think you expect that in a car like this because you're paying so much money. You also want the luxury along with the whole AMG GT experience. But as far as the interior goes, really high class, better than E-Class, better than CLS, and a whole load of GT. I mean, actually, one part I missed, the thing I love the most is having the gearbox down here rather than the stalk here. It's so GT, it's so SLS, it's exactly what you want in a super saloon. So hats off Mercedes, you've done a fantastic job on this.
Now, speaking about the gear lever, let's talk performance. This is the pure V8 version with the same 4-litre engine as the AMG GT and the E63S. But this GT63S produces the most power out of all of the AMGs using this engine at a crazy 639 brake horsepower with 900 Newton meters of torque. Crazy figures. So this is undoubtedly takes the crown of AMG's maddest saloon away from the E63S. The car also features active rear-wheel steering, as first seen in the AMG GTR, and this is a feature that we found extremely noticeable when you're driving the R and the C for the first time. So it will be interesting to see how it feels when we drive this new beast in anger. One thing is for sure, these driving shots in the official video are getting me super hyped up for that eventual drive. What a monster! Coming after this version will be an even more powerful car, if that's possible, with the concept hinting at it last year, an AMG GT 73 using the same V8 paired with an EQ Power Plus hybrid system, producing close to 800 brake horsepower. Now before we sign off, I was lucky enough to be around when they turned the car on, so let's see what the beast sounds like.
It's really wide, it's really intimidating. It looks like a four-door GT should. And I was worried coming into this it was going to look maybe too CLS or too E-Class, but when you see it in the flesh and you see just how similar the proportions of the car are to the concept car they made, this is going to be one hell of a car for someone to own as a super saloon. And I think that's where Mercedes-AMG have pitched it. It's the right place to pitch it. Loads of personalization. We're talking like 11 different alloy wheels. We've got the choice of bench and rear seat or 2 seats in the rear, so it can be a 5-seater as well, which is amazing. We weren't expecting that at all. So it's going to be a really, really, really cool car. I'm excited about it. I pre-ordered mine back a year ago when we did the original concept video. So looking forward to hearing about when it's coming, what options are coming, the edition one, but we'll keep you guys up to speed on Remove Before Race about that. Hopefully we'll get some time with the car without it being bum rushed. Maybe in a Falterbach at some point soon. But yeah, thanks for watching. Do like and subscribe, and we'll bring you all the GT Four Door stuff, especially when I get mine. So I'll see you then.